All right, welcome back, everybody, for your favorite beginning of the week and mine. The Barreto Boys are back to do our weekly NFL recap. I am Podcast Poppy Dylan Barreto. Hello, and I am here with Big Brother Steven Barreto, the Sand Viper. Hello.
What's up?
All right, we are here to recap this slate of games, and we will start off with Sunday Night Football. Minnesota Vikings at Denver Broncos. Broncos 21, Vikings 20.
The Mile High comeback.
Russell Wilson played a solid game. I didn't think he was really doing shit.
Wilson this year been playing okay. Just like he's not being the reason they're losing games. He's also not being.
And then he's barely being the reason they're winning.
But he's the reason they won this game with that touchdown.
Yes.
In the game.
There were so many points in this game where I just thought the Vikings were just going to run away with it. And they just didn't. Like the entire first half, I thought Minnesota was just waiting to just take the ball and run because there was many an opportunity where they could have really gone up like 21 to like 9 at one point in this game.
Kept turning the ball over every time you think they're going to make a run to push the lead further. They do interception, somebody fumbles.
Yeah, it was annoying to watch because then it's just like Janice is asking me about Josh Dobbs. She goes, "Oh, why didn't the Jets go get him?" I'm like, "I don't fucking know why you didn't go get him." All right. Or and he just does that thing where he was playing fine and then he just turned over the ball.
Well, that one interception because he got his arm hit.
Mm-hmm.
While he was throwing it, it's not really his fault. It's his running back's fault for not blocking the guy. Because the guy was open, but you get hit in the arm, the ball comes out. Don't go where you want it to go. The problem was Cleveland. Cleveland had him on the roster at the beginning of the year. So if anybody that's going to be mad, it's going to be Cleveland.
Cleveland and traded him away for nothing to Arizona, who then traded him away for nothing to Minnesota.
It's not a bad loss for Minnesota. They can afford to lose this game. The Broncos are right back in it now. They're right in the picture because the Minnesota didn't really need this game. Because as far as NFC goes, I think we got 7 teams. I think we could pencil in. I'll put in Minnesota. I don't see anybody else catching them.
I don't know.
For that last NFC spot.
Yeah, there's really. Think about it. There's really nobody.
There's nobody. I think we got the 7 NFC teams. It's just placement.
Yep.
I think the 7 NFC teams are locked. It's just placement. Who's going to be where, and basically who's going to be where, what number anybody's going to get. That's placement. We got the 7 teams. The only one we can't figure out is the NFC South winner.
Yeah, pretty much.
The AFC picture just got close because that Broncos win is huge. 5-5, they're right back in the thick of things. Everyone we're all thinking they're dead in the water. They're right back in it. The
whole AFC is really alive. And if you have 4 wins, you're still kind of alive. You just have to win out.
Yeah,
and look at the tiebreakers.
4 wins, no, you're probably out. 5 wins, you're around there. Because 4 wins, you need help and you need tiebreakers.
Mm-hmm.
I'm
not even talking about the Jets here. If you have 4 wins, I still think you're in the hunt. Where it's like, hey, you just need a couple things to bounce your way, and you're in. Especially if you've beaten some of those teams that are also in the race.
Yeah. The Broncos couldn't afford. If the Broncos lost that game, they had so many because then they fall behind the Jets because they lost that tiebreaker. They needed to win that game.
All right, let's move to Thursday. Cincinnati Bengals versus Baltimore Ravens. The Bengals season's done.
Yeah, it's pretty much over now.
It's not even because of like the calf injury.
Because not even the calf injuries, the injury nobody knew about, that they're under investigation, that you're supposed to report these injuries. I'm like, what wrist injury? And when he hurt himself, I'm like, how the fuck he hurt his wrist?
Yeah, and then, like, I didn't even know it was wrist. And then I see him throwing on the sideline. I'm like, that's his shoulder. Like, that's really, like, it looked like it was just a shoulder he couldn't get up. And then it's like, oh, no, it's his wrist. I'm like, what? Yep, torn ligament in his wrist.
He hurt his wrist. I'm like, he hurt his wrist. Threw a touchdown pass on his wrist. I'm like, what the fuck? He's like, oh. I'm like, he's grabbing his wrist. I'm like, he didn't even get hit. Like, what the fuck happened?
That's what I was trying to figure out.
How did his wrist
definitely happen? I don't know. And now they're getting investigated. So they get everything they deserve for mishandling their quarterback. The Ravens also lose somebody very important to their offense, and Mark Andrews for the year.
That's a big one for. That's literally Lamar's guy.
Mm-hmm. That hurts a lot more than people are going to realize. Because the Odells and the Zay Flowers and all those guys, the game gets to be super easy for them when Mark Andrews gets to be the security blanket.
I think Mark Andrews has been like their leading receiver every time. Fucking, I don't know, every year that Lamar's able to finish. It's literally like Chelsea.
Luckily for them, they have the touchdown merchant in Gus Edwards, so it's like when they get to the red zone, he's right there.
All he does is rush for touchdowns.
Doesn't do nothing else. Just gets the red zone, just hand off the ball. But Ravens, what, are they tied for first? Because the Browns keep winning football games?
The Browns are in first place.
Yep, Browns. There we go. Next game, Steelers-Browns. This was an ugly football game.
So, I'm saying to myself, why PJ Walker was not playing? And the consensus is, what's going out there is, they know what PJ Walker is. They want to find out DTR's ceiling. That's why they're playing Dorian Thompson-Robinson, because they think
DTR's not ready.
They think he has a bigger ceiling. His ceiling is higher, because we know what PJ Walker is. He's a serviceable backup. But again, Cleveland is playing for the rest of the season. And a serviceable backup can only get you so far, so I understand. But we're going to find out. He's got to play these tough games. Just beat, you're in first place right now. Then I have to play the Ravens again, right? Pittsburgh. Okay, let me. Buffalo lost to the fucking Broncos on Monday and immediately fired Ken Dorsey the next day. And the offense came out against the Jets was fine, but Mike Tomlin has to fire back Canada. You can be outgained all the time. You're not going to win all the fucking games. You're outgained. You get outgained again this game. Plus the play code. I've seen screen passes to every skill player today. I see screen pass to Jalen Warren, screen pass to Najee Harris, screen pass to tight end, screen pass to all the wide receivers. If you wonder why you can't score, because everybody catches the ball behind the line of scrimmage and knows what plays you're fucking calling. You call like fucking 20 screens. Kenny Pickett threw 28 times. Yeah, he has 106 yards. He's not a running back. You can't do. And look, they finally did it. They finally said, we're going to start Jalen Warren.
Something we've been saying for weeks.
We start Jalen Warren. They start Jalen Warren. Najee Harris is the backup now. But it's like the Pittsburgh offense, you can't do nothing. It's you have to. Mike Tomlin has to fire. Because let me tell you something about the Steelers owner. They're not going to fire their head coach.
No, Tomlin's safe.
No.
Tomlin is safe.
This team has had 3 coaches in 70 years. They're not fired. They don't fire coaches.
Tomlin is very safe. Did you know that since October 1st, Anthony Richardson and Kenny Pickett have the same amount of touchdown passes?
Yes. C.J. Stroud has already thrown more touchdown passes than Kenny Pickett. By the way, Kenny Pickett played last year.
Yeah. It's if you're the Browns, I get what you're doing with Dorian Thompson Robinson, but you're trying to win football games, right? Or are you trying to win football games or trying to figure out what this quarterback is? Because I can tell you right now, from the few times I've seen DTR play, he's not ready.
Yeah, that first game, you're throwing him into the fire. It's like, ugh.
He's not ready.
What other teams are you playing next to try that? Say if you're playing
the Broncos, Rams, Jags, Bears.
Yeah, you could have did that like against the Rams or something. You want to try it out.
Can't throw that again in the divisional game against a Steelers defense that plays. And he didn't play good. He was sailing a lot of these passes. He was putting these receivers in some shitty spots.
And this is what Stefanski's got to lean in. Mike Zimmer's gonna, if he was his head coach, would be punching him in the face. Got to lean in your running game. You know your defense is gonna play for you.
They really need to play PJ Walker. If they want to play to win football games, you have to play PJ Walker.
They lost against Seattle against PJ Walker. It wasn't his fault. The ball got batted in the air on that throw play, even though they should have never called a pass play.
If you're going to continue to play DTR, you're trying to throw away your season, and you already won too many games. So it doesn't do anybody any favors.
So we'll see how he plays next week against the Broncos. But he did have a loss. So Njoku dropped like 7 passes on him. I will say, like,
that was going to be my next thing. He did have a few guys drop some passes on him, but that doesn't help. But there's still enough tape out on him to know that they should have just went with PJ Walker.
But Pittsburgh, if you're not going to do it now, you're not going to do it. But you have to fire Matt Canada. You cannot call 20 screens.
Dolphins Raiders. This Dolphin team, from what I saw, played this game like they didn't prepare to play football. Their offense took a break. This is another bye week.
Well, Tyreek Hill also didn't get hurt in the first half.
So but he came back.
Yeah, he came back,
but still, even with Tyreek, they only got 1 touchdown out of him, and there was too many opportunities that just didn't look.
Yeah, Tyreek Hill at the game, I'm like, there's one thing I got to worry about.
Yeah, but even when Tyreek was in the game, it's still like they didn't score until 4 minutes into the second quarter for that first touchdown.
It's a different Raider team.
Yeah, but even still, they played like they weren't prepared to play football. And this Raider team isn't still, regardless, isn't good. Right? We see right off the rip where Aiden O'Connell threw a touchdown pass to Devontae based off of the corner tripping and falling over his feet. And then he was just terrible. He was fucking bad. I got a nice message from Anthony. Oh, that's my quarterback, but he was real quiet after the 3 interceptions. Whereas that's my quarterback then.
That's his quarterback.
That's his quarterback. This guy, he's not good. They didn't go to Josh Jacobs enough, and it's not like they were trailing a ton. Josh Jacobs needs to have 20-something carries. AP, you got to go back to what was working. The Dolphins were stacking the box, but then you could set up the play action. You got the speed guys. You have the weapons to utilize that and beat this Dolphins team. The problem is you abandoned the run. You threw 41 times with a rookie quarterback who's really not that good, and the results are interception, interception, interception.
Yeah, Officer Favre can't fucking throw 41 times a game.
You can't have 16 total times rushing, 41 passing. You were not losing 40 by 30.
When you have this team struggling, you need to run the ball and give them less possessions because they're a fast fucking team. And though they only scored 20 points today in this game, you need to pound the rock and keep them off the fucking field. You gotta play. You gotta be physical with them.
There was too many opportunities for Miami to have dropped another 20 in the second half. There was too many opportunities, and they got lucky. Going forward, you can't do that stuff. And again, this is that tough part of the schedule for the Raiders where you're going to be facing a lot of teams that can score. You have to be able to run the football. And next week, they have the Chiefs. The Chiefs are a better defense than Miami. Then you think you're gonna have a hard time running the ball on them.
The Chiefs twice and then the Vikings. So
anything can happen in those games. I don't. Anthony still thinks they're a playoff team.
The Raiders team, they're running. Oh, they're running out of time. They're third in the division now. By the way,
Anthony said this team is a playoff team. I said, let's double or nothing from our Jet Raiders bet. Let's go ahead, double now. Just tell me the Raiders are going to the playoffs.
They're they're under the Broncos right now. The Broncos are second in that division now.
Yeah, but they beat the Broncos.
Yeah, but
they still have to play again.
They have a worse record than the Broncos, so they are below them. So they're currently third in the division.
Raiders stink. Lions, Bears. The Bears bared. The Bears very much so bared this game.
This is also a reason why I have, this is why, I don't trust the Lions until they do it. Like, Jared Goff had a bad game. If they weren't playing the Bears, they would have lost this game. Because I'm like, do the Lions still do stupid shit? That's why I'm like, I don't trust them because they're not used to doing it. Because what's going to happen when they play good teams? They still got to play Minnesota twice, and then they play Dallas once. Like they have been the only good team they played against Kansas City, and they barely won that game.
And then they got the doors blown off them in Baltimore.
Yeah, so are we doing this thing where they're one quarterback away?
I don't even think it's one quarterback away. Their defense is bad.
Yeah, their defense away.
Their defense is bad.
Also, Jared Goff. Your defense can be bad when you throw 3 interceptions.
Jared Goff is good enough to win them, to be the starting quarterback on this team. It's not like he's fucking Zach Wilson here, where it's like, man, he's the reason they're losing games or a mixture of multiple things. Jared Goff is good enough to be like, hey, I could command this offense. I could score 5 touchdowns in a game. It's just the defense also needs to make stops. And the one thing the announcers in this game have talked about was Justin Fields running, and Justin Fields cleared them on the run. They couldn't stop. They didn't adjust. So, that Lions defensive coordinator, I don't know. One, I don't know how he still has a job from last year and how he was interviewing for head coaching jobs when he had the 30th ranked defense last year. So, this Lions team's going to go where the defense lets them go.
Well, the problem is, if Aiden Hutchinson can't rush the passer, they don't get a pass rush.
They don't get anything, and those corners don't do a good job.
They had a sack in like the last 3 games.
Mm-hmm.
This is why in the draft I'm like, they need to take Jalen Carter and pair him with Aiden Hutchinson. But they didn't want to take Jalen Carter. I'm like, why?
Because they wanted Jahmyr Gibbs.
Guess what? If you can't generate a pass rush, you're going to be free. Your defense is going to be on the field. It's hard to win games. The Bears were fucked up themselves this game. I don't even consider it like the Lions beating them. The Bears beat themselves.
Bears bared. They did that thing where they just found a way to lose the game in bear fashion. And it's tough. It's very tough because they
lose. You got to pay attention to your time. And you got to tell your offense coordinator, let's run the ball here, get some clock ticking, get the clock ticking, make them use their last timeout. Well, time management is not this hard. I don't know why people fucking can't figure this out.
Nope. I feel like most of the people just kind of get lost in the moment.
Oh my God. Come on.
They just get lost in the moment on what's going on, or they lose the ref.
7-year-olds are doing it on Madden on a video game. A fucking 40-year-old, 60-year-old, 7-year-old coach can figure that
out. Jaguars, Titans. Jaguars did that thing they do where they take away the football.
Did you know coming into this game that Derrick Henry was the second leading rusher in the NFL?
No.
But I'm like, how? You look at it and be like, how? He doesn't look like he's been playing good all year. I'm like, everybody must not be running the ball then. He's the second leading rusher in the NFL. And he looked old today. Of course, they only gave him the ball 10 times, but again,
it's crazy that he's the second leading rusher in the NFL and he just doesn't run the football. I need to take a look at like how the rushing attempts are down.
Average. I'm like, how is he the second leading rusher in the NFL? He doesn't have a good rushing average neither. Like, he's one guy that usually dominates Jacksonville. And they're like, no. That Jacksonville's defense is like they have like Josh Allen, but they really have nobody else that's name worthy.
Mm-hmm.
So they give up a lot of yards.
They got a homeboy, the defensive end that
Josh Allen.
No, the other one that was the first overall pick last year. What the fuck is his name?
You don't know his name. Exactly my point.
Trayvon Walker.
They lead the only thing is they like lead the league in turnovers, but that's why like they play San Fran and they just beat the shit out of them. Like they don't have guys on their defense like that.
And they beat the dog shit out of Tennessee. This 14, that doesn't indicate what happened. They beat the dog shit out of the Titans today.
It's like, what are we doing? How many targets is Hopkins having? How many times are you running the ball, Derrick Henry? You have a rookie quarterback. Not to mention on the other side of the ball, Trevor Lawrence just dissected this whole defense. What is it? Oh, I'm throwing it at this guy, Trevor Lawrence, Calvin Ridley, just making a connection this game. Unlike in the past previous games, like, oh, you know what? Let me start throwing to Calvin, get it going.
We have Jaguars Titans next week.
Next week for first place.
Texans for first place in the AFC South. That's going to be a fun one.
And Jaguars figuring out this game that you can, Trevor Lawrence, we can run with him. We can call them zone reads.
Chargers Packers. This game was also a stinker.
The Los Angeles Chargers as a team have fallen one game under 500 as a whole team. Did you know coming into that game as a team existence, their record was even? Their career record was 500. So was the quarterback Justin Herbert, who also lost his game, and his now career record is one game under 500. But he didn't lose this game. You know how we have your boy Brett, and we tell him about Big 12 wide receivers, they suck. Yep. Except for like CeeDee Lamb and Quentin Johnston.
There's only a handful of them because they don't play nobody.
Quentin Johnston is looking like Jalen Reagor.
Quentin Johnston with...
Because
that drop.
When they had Mike Williams and Keenan Allen, and then they have Palmer, I'm like, didn't they draft that wide receiver? Why is he not getting on the field? There's a reason for that. Now he has to play because Mike Williams is gone. And especially today when Keenan Allen is playing with an injury, and Keenan Allen still had like 10 catches.
Keenan Allen was balling.
Let
I've
me,
always been a Keenan Allen guy.
let me tell you something. This is why I'm glad Kellen Moore is not the offense coordinator of the Dallas Cowboys, because he does not know situational football. Green Bay Packers could not stop the run this game for at all. How many times Eckler ran the ball?
Not enough. 10 times.
They could not stop the run at
He only
all.
had 2 catches, too, so I was furious.
They could not. This is why I stayed away from any Charger in fantasy football when Kellen Moore became their offense coordinator. Because, Austin Eckler, he can run the ball. Yeah, guess what? Not Kellen Moore's offense. There's no reason to stop. It wasn't like they were getting blown out. It wasn't like it was 23-0. Like, Green Bay could not stop the run, and you refuse to run. That's what Kellen Moore does. He gets tunnel vision. I'm going to throw the ball deep, deep, deep. Oh, no. I need a first down and third down. Sticks, 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 sticks. Deep, sticks, deep. Now your quarterback looks bad, even though he played his ass off. How are you going to – everybody's going to shit on Justin Herbert. Justin Herbert's not the reason they lost the game. He also had 74 yards rushing. Like, hello. What more can he do?
That drop, that was when that happened in real time, I was like, that's brutal.
People in the NFL, there's only like what? How many Big 12 receivers are don't draft Big 12 wide receivers? CeeDee Lamb is like the only exception to the rule.
Mike Evans.
Mike Evans, SEC.
SEC.
Texas A&M. Johnny Manziel.
Weren't they Big 12 before they moved back?
No.
Oh, okay.
In SEC. Remember Johnny Manziel playing Alabama every year?
Yep. Big 12 wide receivers. I'll have to think about that. We'll keep it moving.
Because outside of CD right now, it's CeeDee Lamb. What other Big 12 receivers are there?
Nobody from Texas. Yeah. They're all Big 10 or SEC.
Wide receivers.
Huh?
So especially TCU wide receivers.
Yeah, no. Yeah. My brain, I'm lost. I cannot think of another Big 12 receiver.
Like, in the last decade, who are the Big 12 wide receivers?
CeeDee Lamb. The Marquise Brown.
Yeah, but we all know Marquise Brown.
I'm just naming Big 10 receivers. Where did fucking Godwin go? Penn State. No. Big 10. Denzel Mims. Big 12 receiver in NFL.
See, somebody on Jeopardy help us. Just go around the team. Go around the teams in the league.
Tyler Lockett. Oh, there's some bad ones.
There's like exceptions. There's like one exception, one or two. But like,
they're bad. Corey Coleman.
What are we doing
James
here?
Washington. Stedman Bailey.
What are we doing here?
Terrence Williams. D.D. Westbrook. Dylan's favorite wide receiver, Alan Lazard. That fucking bum.
Yeah, Terrence Williams from Baylor, but he was an okay receiver. But it's like, come on, man. Who's on CD Lamb's level? You could say Tyler Lockett. I'll give you Tyler Lockett.
Tyler Lockett would be the only one that I'm like, okay, he's actually like very good, but he's not on the level of CD Lamb. CD Lamb is that top like 15 wide receiver. Lockett's not that. Texas Cardinals. I thought for a second this game, the Cardinals were going to win this game. Kyler Murray fooled me into thinking he will win this game.
You got to remember who's coached against Kyler Murray a lot. D'Amico
Ryans.
So I like what he did in this game. You ain't doing that running around and shit on me. We keep your ass in the fucking pocket. You know you have a hard time seeing in the pocket, and that's why he threw that one interception.
He did throw that one like 40-yard dot to fucking Rondale Moore.
Oh yeah.
Which was a fucking hell of a pass.
I know you started this thing with Arizona Cardinals, get rid of Kyler Murray. I'm like, they can't. He's guaranteed $160 million. That contract doesn't take an effect till next year.
Oh, then yeah, they really can't get rid of him.
He's still in his rookie contract.
Yeah, they really can't get rid of him.
I'm like, oh, they can't get rid of that.
Nope. I thought he started that this year. Yeah, they really can't get rid of that contract. So they're taking Marv.
They can't freaking. This is what I try to explain to you. Like, they can't do that. They can't do that. They could cut him. They'll still be paying him. They have to stick with him. They have to freaking. Because what are they going to do? They can only get that first round pick and trade it if they were to get the first pick of the draft. Now, Houston, that boy good. He had 3 picks today.
But he came out with that Steph Curry missed a shot. He gonna keep shooting. Shoot.
Gotta happen sooner or later.
Yep.
Boy, he's rookie quarterback. Still in the MVP conversation. Come on, he's rookie quarterback. He had freaking 2 interceptions coming into the freaking league. Coming into this game. 3 okay.
They're balling. This Houston team's fun.
Singletary, and then he got his connection with Tank Dell. Rookie combination.
This Houston's team is fun. I like rooting for them every week. They're a well-coached team. They run a good offense. Stroud's good. That red helmet's good. We enjoy that.
Interesting when they get to play Jacksonville next week for the first place, and they own Jacksonville, so we'll get to see. Jacksonville has got to beat them. Jacksonville has to beat them. Not only they got to beat them, they have to beat them.
They have to. Dallas Cowboys 33, Panthers 10. Frank Reich takes over play calling, and Bryce Young looks terrible all over again. I feel like Frank Reich's play calling doesn't look much different than the Bryce Young we've been seeing, but I feel like he's played better.
Frank Reich's like, yeah, let's get Mike Parsons 3 sacks.
I just don't. This whole Panther team is just an anomaly. I don't understand them. I don't get it. But they deserve everything they get. They deserve everything they get for trading for Bryce Young and getting rid of next year's pick in a draft where people are now starting to question Caleb Williams because of his maturity. But he's still going to be the first quarterback taken.
He's still the first quarterback in the draft. You just need to keep him from painting his fingernails,
and let him.
Williams is not responsible for the other team scoring 50 points.
No, but then you have the other questions where it's like, oh, he can't face the media after getting his ass whooped.
Yeah, you know what? Yeah,
you crying in the stands.
Look. You can do that. It's fine. He'll get over it. But you can't tell me. First of all, Lincoln Riley's
the real problem.
Lincoln Riley's a real problem. You can get away with that shit in the Big 12. Guess what? Oklahoma's going to the SEC. I got to get the fuck out of here. I'm going to USC. Give me that money.
Like they shouldn't have lost to UCLA the way they lost to UCLA.
Now I'm going to the Big 10. Fuck. I need to be a coach in the NFL. I would think he lost coaching interest from the NFL teams.
He's going to end up being an offensive coordinator somewhere because he's not going to get a head coaching job. Whoever hires him to be a head coach is going to be crazy.
USC wasn't going to do. Like, well, look what you did this year. You're supposed to be better. Last year, you were better. You're supposed to be better this year.
That's what happens when you don't recruit defense or take defense seriously at all and just think you're just going to throw the ball 90 times a game and just win.
That shit works in the Big 12. That shit don't work no more. Pac-12
doesn't work. The Pac-4 has some of the better defenses that he's faced in the last, 8 years of him as a coach. He should have known better.
Every time he went up against the SEC, he got destroyed.
And then these Pac-12 defenses aren't even that good. For them to have lost to Utah the way they lose to Utah, which is probably the best defense of the Pac-12, for them to lose or against Arizona and almost lose that game, Oregon State, UCLA, these aren't good these aren't great defenses. These are good defenses in the Pac-12. They're going to get hammered when they go to the Big Ten next year if Lincoln Riley's still there. That's crazy. And you're not going to have a quarterback.
Nope.
So, fucking insane. Figure it out.
Well, that's what he does. He recruits quarterbacks anyway. So, he must
get defense.
Anyways, this game for Dallas is let's establish the run game. They wanted to run the ball, get Tony Pollard involved, but play complementary football with Tony Pollard. That's how he does well. When he's able to complement the game. He finally had his first touchdown since week 1. Playing the fucking Panthers. He has to play complementary. They have to figure out if they're gonna freaking give another running back a lot of carries to balance him out. He cannot get 20 carries. He's most effective when he comes in, the defense is tired. Let's put that bolt of lightning in there.
I didn't watch a ton of this game. All I know is y'all are beating the dog shit out of him, and it was never really close.
Freaking, Bryce Young was running for his life. Everybody was getting a sack. And then Deron Bland had his 4th pick 6 of the season, tying him for the most all time. Hasn't been done since 1991. 4 pick 6s.
Giants 31, Commanders 19. This whole Commanders organization is going to get fired.
Yeah, they also got swept by the Giants.
You let Danny DeVito throw 3 touchdowns on you, too.
Good fella, Tommy DeVito.
He earned his name finally? Can we call him Tommy now?
Yeah. Good fella, Tommy DeVito. I like he did this celebration where he did a touchdown, too.
He spent all week eating chicken parms at practice from all sorts of New Jersey Italian fucking delis. He just played into this Italian thing.
He's better than Daniel Jones. I think he has more touchdowns than Daniel Jones.
He has more touchdowns than Daniel Jones. He has more three touchdown games than Daniel Jones, Zach Wilson, and Kenny Pickett.
How does it feel that both your backup quarterbacks are better than your fucking starting quarterbacks?
All I saw on Twitter was Jet fans trying to warn Giant fans, just hey, this may be fun right now, but we've been here before. Do not let this fool you into thinking you got your quarterback. Do not let this fool you into thinking you got your quarterback.
Because, like I pointed out weeks ago, Sam Howell is the new James Winston. And
He's fucking crazy. I don't understand him. Because he very much so follows that Jameis Winston career trajectory of, man, when he does something good, he does something fucking awesome.
Good. And then when
he just does something so stupid, it's just like, what are we doing? How do you play football?
Bad.
How do you play football, sir? Like, this is crazy. And yet, here we are. They lost 31-19. They had a chance. There's a pick six at the end of the game. And it's just like, they really had a fucking chance to win this game.
The three picks he threw were fucking god awful. It was like, what the fuck? Like, he literally is James Winston 2.0. Like,
This whole team sucks. Everything about this team sucks. Ron Rivera sucks. Eric Bieniemy sucks.
At the end of the year, because what's the point of firing him now? They're not going nowhere. The second place Washington Commanders, who have not won, who is like 0-4 in the division. They've already been swept by Philly and been swept by the Giants. Thanksgiving's coming, and guess who's going to have a play?
I don't even know who would want to coach this dumpster fire of a fucking team.
It's a certain guy in New England
that has the commies on his radar. That is supposedly a very, very real thing.
Two teams. It's either going to be Belichick's either going to coach the commies or the Chargers. He might say, you know what? I like better weather. We'll go to the Chargers.
I like an arena that has working hot water, because after the game, the hot water in both locker rooms didn't work, so the players couldn't shower.
You know, that stadium they're building in Virginia cannot be built any faster.
I've never seen so much just ridiculousness happen with a stadium before, between railings falling and pipes breaking and just hot water heaters not working. Everything about that organization is just a dumpster fire. An absolute dumpster fire. And Magic Johnson has to mansplain every week after the games what happens. It is tweets. It's just all bad. It's all time bad. Buccaneers 14, San Francisco 49ers 27. I got told today that I had to apologize to Brock Purdy again, and I'm just not doing it.
Apologize for what?
Because Brock Purdy's not that good. I was told, and I quote, let's pull it up in the chat. While we were live, mind you, Dylan, I want an apology for Brock Purdy. He's an elite QB.
No, he's not. Elite?
And I said, let's ignore everything else over the last 5 weeks. You mean last week when he balled out too? You are filled with hate. I said what I said. Last 5 weeks.
Elite at what?
Checkdowns. He did hit Brandon Ayuk on some good ones, but like, again, what are you? This is what you're supposed to do. We have already seen Brock Purdy without the elite level talent, without Trent Williams and Debo, when we saw what he was. If he's a quarterback that can only operate with A+ talent at an elite level, and then he drops down to a C when he loses those guys, then we know what a guy is.
He's got to also do this. Tampa Bay's not good.
Tampa Bay is a solid team. They're not like a world beater team. They have a solid defense. I've seen him pick apart better defenses. But like,
right now, Mac Jones would put up the same stats if he was here in San Francisco as Brock Purdy. So no one's going to apologize for that.
Yeah, I'm not. I know what he is.
How many quarterbacks San Francisco are going to have and win with him? I bet Brock Purdy goes down with an injury. Sam Darnold they'll still win.
Remember, Anthony, you have a quarterback that thrived in this system.
Let's not.
How'd it do for you?
Let's not act like they weren't winning before he got there.
Let's not act like any quarterback who plays in San Francisco is good elsewhere. Jimmy Garoppolo, you literally told me Jimmy Garoppolo is a Super Bowl caliber quarterback because of what he made you think he is in this offense.
It's how does Brock Purdy play when he's behind?
Not good.
All the times he's been behind, he's lost.
And he stinks.
And plus, it's true. Shanahan, none of his team can play from behind. Like 0-30, what, 0-34 when
it's like that the Ravens team from a few years ago when they lost to Tennessee, where they were not good playing from behind because they could just run it up, take shots deep, and run the football, but they couldn't play from behind. They couldn't get you balls into the end zone when you needed it.
They lost Hufanga for the season tore his ACL.
Yes, he did, because Rashawn Johnson hit him with a whoop, snatched his ankles and took his ACL with him. Because that boy good.
ACL.
Bills 32, Jets 6. This was the unraveling of the Jets as a whole.
Jets team down this game. This is the game.
This is the worst game they've played as a collective unit. This is where all the frustration the defense has seen has finally showed on the field. And finally, the benching of Zach Wilson, which came a quarter too late, where he should have been benched after that sequence where he almost threw the pick and then threw the pick.
When he threw the pick, he should have been basked when the plug should have been pulled.
Because we weren't moving the ball. He was taking sacks. Tim Boyle, like,
he's not seeing the field. He doesn't trust what he sees. He's done. You have to put somebody else in. I don't care how bad Tim Boyle is. You got to try him out at this point.
The problem is that we've done this, all the people who are crying for Zach to get benched, even though it's more than Zach, but Zach is clearly cooked, right? He's done. Take him out. He cannot put on a uniform again. He cannot be a backup. He has to be inactive.
There's guys open. He's just not trusting what he sees.
Nope.
You have to take him out. You can't look. The other guy can be horrible, but you gotta get rid of the ball.
You gotta get fresh sets of eyes out there.
You're throwing interceptions. You're throwing them. It's like
Zach can't be active. He has to sit there in the sweatsuit. He cannot play at all anymore unless Boyle and Simeon both get hurt. That's the only way Zach even gets dressed at this point. For all the people who are blaming Zach for every part of it, there's much more than that because Tim Boyle is not good. And the only thing I keep getting from Roz or the other Jet fan is like, Zach is historically bad. He is historically like the worst starting quarterback of all time. I'm like, great. The only reason Tim Boyle isn't that is because he has not had the playing time. Because everything about Tim Boyle, statistically and eye test wise, is horrendous.
You got short. This is a bad game.
We play Friday. This is terrible. This is a bad week to be playing this bad.
For the fucking straw to break, especially when it's a short week and you got to play Black Friday.
And you have to name a quarterback tomorrow.
Yeah.
Hopefully, Simeon's been on the roster for 5 weeks now. So hopefully he's ready enough. Get him reps and just
make him go. Make him the backup for the Black Friday game. Start Tim Boyle and see what happens after that.
I'm saying make Tim Boyle the backup to Simeon.
Well,
Simeon gives us the best chance to win.
You can't play Zach. He's done. He's Brock. He's
and Boyle doesn't give you the best chance to win. He's not scared to throw the ball, but he forces the ball into some bad situations. He threw a few hospital balls and threw a couple high balls that just bounced up ready for tip drill. He got bailed out of one interception and threw a nasty one later at the end. You can't do that. Those are things where it's like, say what you want about how bad Zach was. When they were able to move the ball, we were held back by other things, but he didn't put the ball in many, many bad situations despite throwing a few interceptions. Where Tim Boyle almost threw for half the amount of, or a third of the amount of interceptions he had all the year.
And again, Why are we not giving Brees Hall the ball or Dalvin? I need to see something. We get Dalvin Cook can't produce if we don't give him chances to. Brees Hall got 10 carries. The game was close. It was only like freaking. Look, it was 10-6, what 16-6 in the before the halftime.
Yep.
You gotta. There's no reason to give up in the run game, especially if the quarterback is scared to throw the ball. Well, if he's scared to throw the ball, you got to run the ball.
You got to take the play calling duties away from Hackett. He's not been great. They moved him in the booth, and he was just as bad. Like, I don't get it. The run play call, maybe it's just the fact that Zach is there, and they're still like, Zach's not going to throw the ball on us. We're still going to stack. They still stack the box to do it. And, like, immediately, the second Tim Boyle goes in, we're able to successfully run the football.
If they're going to stack the box, they're going to stack the box regardless. You have Brees Hall. If they're not stacked, it is what it is. You still run it anyway.
They just don't. They pick basic, like every play call that Hackett picks is you can predict the play calling. It's Matt Canada. It's literally Matt Canada's offense. The defense knows what we're calling because whenever we're under center, it's literally going to be an inside run because we only run the ball out of fucking 3 tight end sets.
So Buffalo debuted Joe Brady as their offensive coordinator, and I figured this going into this game. I'm like, they're going to involve James Cook more, especially when it comes to the passing game. It's one thing Ken Dorsey wasn't doing, like running the ball more with James Cook and giving James Cook the ball in the passing game. There's one thing he did at Georgia, he could receive the ball. So like, if you're going to fire the offensive coordinator, fine, but that's probably the reason he should have got fired regardless. Because, Josh Allen threw a pick. I don't count that as a pick. He's throwing a Hail Mary at the end of the half.
Still counts.
Yeah, but not like it's going to cost you.
No. It's the problem with this game was the Jets couldn't complete a pass to a wide receiver. Yeah. Zach was unable to complete a pass to a wide receiver. The first time Garrett and Conklin and all those guys got shots was when Boyle came in.
And the Jets wide receivers had a total of 9 yards in this game.
It's absolutely ridiculous. That's why it's like Zach had to go. And I'm totally okay with it. What I won't be okay with is Tim Boyle. We cannot play Tim Boyle. Because as bad as Zach is, the numbers may not reflect it, but when you watch Tim Boyle play football, you will understand what I mean, that Tim Boyle is awful. He cannot play. You have to play Trevor Siemian, and you have to call another quarterback that's just at home. You can't do this. This is quarterback malpractice. The Jets dropped the ball. Like, you might as well just went and got Carson Wentz before. Like, if this is what you're going to do and just trot out Zach the whole time and not be prepared for you to bench him.
Like, of all the quarterbacks available, they could have signed, like...
We could have traded for Dobbs because they got him for a bag of chips. Could have signed Carson Wentz.
What other quarterbacks are out there that you could have signed? White Wentz was there.
We wouldn't go get fucking Trevor Siemian.
Who else
is
out
ridiculous? Let's see.
Look at RG3. He says he can still run fast.
Joe Flacco just got signed today. RG3 available. I think fucking what's his face? Colt McCoy, I think, is still available. And I think Matt Barkley is still on a practice squad that you could claim. And Cam Newton.
Yeah.
Listen, if you're going to fucking suck a quarterback anyway, pick somebody. But Trevor Siemian is worse than all of those guys. So it's like, why fuck not? Cam Newton just wants a fucking $10 million. You don't want to play football. But it's quarterback malpractice, man. Quarterback malpractice. What's going on over in Florham Park?
Well, you either got to play Trevor Siemian on Friday or that's it.
The problem is we're being held hostage by a gentleman who tore his Achilles. Every decision that happens, it has to get run by him. You can't take play calling away from Hackett because Aaron Rodgers is gonna get mad. You couldn't get somebody else because Aaron likes the quarterback room. Aaron's friends with Tim Boyle, and he likes that Zach idolizes him. You're like, Saleh should have fired Hackett already. Can't do that. That's Aaron Rodgers' best friend. Wouldn't have Alan Lazard. The only reason Alan Lazard still plays, Aaron Rodgers. The only reason these fucking Randall Cobb's still on the roster, Aaron Rodgers. It just seems like everything I said was going to happen with Aaron Rodgers is happening. And I was like, we should have just went with Derek Carr. Because at least he would have played.
Oh, my God.
More than 4 snaps. And then got hurt. The problem is that Saints defense also sucks.
Derek Carr sucks, too.
Derek Carr sucks, but he's better than Zach.
A lot of people are better than Zach.
So you just get a little bit less suck. Actually, a lot less suck with Derek Carr. And you get a lot less headache because of Aaron Rodgers. The hate in me for Rodgers is coming back.
Oh, yeah.
It's almost full back. Rams 17, Seahawks 6.
The Rams sweep the Seahawks on the season. Seahawks had some significant injuries, and they got to play in San Francisco on Thanksgiving night. Kenneth Walker got an oblique injury in the game and missed the rest of the game. Geno Smith got hurt in the game and hurt his elbow.
Came back
in the game later. Rams got the Seahawks number. That I don't know. Matt Stafford got killed on a fucking play.
And Cooper Kupp got hurt too.
Yeah, Cooper Kupp got it's like, fuck it, Puka's down there. You just don't start throwing the ball to Puka.
About to be the Puka Nacua show all over again.
Seattle, I don't know why. They refuse. They do when they do it, it works. And then they just don't do it anymore.
What, DK Metcalf?
Yeah, DK Metcalf, slant.
If I was the Seahawks, I'd be putting DK Metcalf in nothing but the slot. Nothing but the slot.
When they do it, it works. And it works well. They get him the ball quick, and he makes the guy miss. It's like, now you're going to have to, like, Geno got this elbow injury, he put the sleeve on. It looked like when he came back in the game, but that's the game. That's adrenaline. So let's see what happened Thanksgiving if he's going to play. But Drew Lock had Lockett beat the guy, and then he underthrew the ball, got picked off. Especially with Kenneth Walker, they couldn't run the ball after he left. So it was like offense coordinator Seattle, you got to get the ball slants, run a little quick plays, quick wide receiver routes to get them open. Stop setting them deep all the fucking time.
It's all they just send big old 6'4", 230 pounds of DK Metcalf deep all the time, as opposed to use him in the short game. He could be your possession catch guy. Send Lockett deep. Every
time they use it, it works well. That's how they won the game last week. The whole last drive was quick shit to DK Metcalf. That's how they won the game.
We saw the position of wide receiver change when you see guys like Larry Fitzgerald towards like the back half of his career get moved into side of the slot and just open up a whole new dynamic of having a 6'3" guy who could box out the linebackers, safeties, guys from behind and get you secure catches. And we're just not doing it.
And it happened at the end of this game too. DK got him in the field goal range, doing the same shit. Get him the ball.
Just pound in there because DK's a big dude.
He's fucking fast as fuck. If he makes a guy miss, this is what T.O. did back in the day. T.O. can run deep and beat your ass, but he can also take a 3-yard fucking 3-yard pass to the house for 80 yards. But I stiff arm the motherfucker and it's gone. Get him the ball.
That's the themes of these Sunday night recap shows. Get your guys the ball.
It's like,
get your guys the fucking football. Find ways to do it. It's not.
I'm telling you how. If you're watching, and we know that you are,
figure it out. Play Madden. Adjust your playbook. Because a 6'4" guy in the slot, there's not many or any who can cover that.
It runs like 4-3.
It's going to open up the game for Tyler Lockett and Smith and Jigba.
Your corners do not want to tackle that big motherfucker if he catches a fucking 3-yard slant.
No, he's going to just run. They're going to drag.
And if he stiff arms the fucking corner and then makes the safety take a bad angle, that's a touchdown.
It's not like Gino's inaccurate. Gino will get the ball on the dot where it needs to be. Stupid. Monday night, Eagles Chiefs, the Kelsey Bowl. Did you know that Jason Kelsey has never beaten Travis?
Well, they barely faced, so what was it, like 2-0?
Yeah, he's 2-0 because Jason's what, like 13 years in the league at this point?
Yeah.
Jeez,
I don't know that older.
No, he is. He's about to retire.
Oh, it's third. Well, it's like 41, maybe like 11.
Yeah, so he's never beaten his brother Travis. If you're gonna do it, this is the time to do it.
Well, there's one thing that Kansas City has going for them, and that's Andy Reid after a bye. And their defense is really fucking good.
Mm-hmm.
And Andy Reid had something, and you know what they're also saying? Philadelphia Eagles been talking shit ever since they lost the Super Bowl, whining and crying how they lost the ball. Oh, we didn't have our footing. The field was slippery. They called holding. Shut the fuck up. Take the L.
Well, they did hold. Bradbury held.
Held. Put a jersey.
What are we doing here?
Let's see if you learn to cover that same route that burnt you 4 times in that game.
They probably did because the Chiefs wide receivers are poo-poo. So who knows?
Well, look, the Chiefs wide receivers are doo-doo, but you know what really kills the Eagles? Tight ends.
That is true.
Logan Thomas destroyed the Eagles. Fucking Jake Ferguson is destroying them. Now we got the best tight end of all time coming in. Tight ends destroy this Eagles team. Their secondary and their linebackers are the weakest part of their fucking defense.
And then we have Thanksgiving and Black Friday. Let's go into that a little bit because I don't know if we're going to be going live at all for that, even though I'd like to go live after that Jet game if we can. Packers Lions at 12:30. Give me them Lions on Lions Thanksgiving because the Lions are the team that have played the most and won the most football games on Thanksgiving.
Is that true?
That is true. I looked it up because I work with my boss is a Cowboys fan, and we had somebody helping out who's also a Cowboys fan. And my boss was like, the Dallas Cowboys are the most winningest team in Thanksgiving history. I was like, they play every Thanksgiving, and they have not played more than the Lions or won more than the Lions. So had to do that. But the Lions are going to win Thanksgiving. The Cowboys are going to blow the doors off the Commanders on Thanksgiving. And the Niners are going to beat the shit out of the Seahawks on Thanksgiving.
I want to see how they handle this Thanksgiving. Because everything's new happening to the Lions. They're not used to this. So, they're not used to being favorites. They're not used to this. This Thanksgiving. Who knows? Packers can come and punch them in the mouth. You never know.
All I know is they better be wearing those Thanksgiving uniforms because I think last year they didn't, and I was very upset.
I imagine some type of throwback or
It's just the plain gray helmets.
jersey. Oh, plain gray.
Give me those throwbacks. Even though we're not going to get those because you have to have the second. You can only have 2 helmets. But give me that new all gray look, because that one with that blue lion that has the stripe on it, that shit's fire.
Oh, like the color rush one.
Yeah, that shit's fire. Cowboys gonna beat the dog shit of the Commanders. Mike Parsons gonna have a billion sacks.
Oh yeah, they're Sam Howell. One thing he knows how to do is take sacks. So I'm not even Mike Parsons. He might not get that many sacks. Somebody else might get them. Maybe Armstrong or Lawrence or Williams or Fowler. He might not even he might not even get the opportunity to get those sacks.
Then we got Black Friday. I didn't realize this game was at 3 p.m.
No, I thought it was 1:30.
It's 3 p.m. on Friday.
Really? I thought it was 1 on Friday.
I looked into it and I was like, what the fuck is that? That is the worst time to be putting on a football game.
I guess they want why don't you just make it a night game?
I thought it was gonna be like 7 o'clock. 7:30.
I knew it was early. I thought it was 1:30.
No, fucking 3 o'clock.
Wow.
On a Friday. I don't understand the scheduling for this. I thought for sure it would have been a 7:30.
1:30's too early for the crazy Black Friday motherfuckers that get up early in the morning.
3 o'clock is just dumb. Like, I just don't understand it. Yeah, 3 p.m. Prime Video. The fuck is that? What do you work on Friday?
Well, I get off at 4.
You want to go live after the game?
Yeah.
I'll be home by the time the game ends, because if the game starts at 3, it'll probably end at 7. So I'll be home. I'll be off of work by then. So we'll recap Black Friday and we will recap Thanksgiving on Friday as we watch Tua turn the ball over versus Trevor Siemian and the New York fucking Jets.
Quarterback TBD quarterback.
It better be Trevor Siemian, or I'm calling for everybody in the organization to get fired.
I'm telling you right now, the Jets lose this game,
it's over. The season's over.
I think you lose the team.
I don't even know if you could lose the team at this point, because the team was supposed to be Rodgers, and the whole coaching staff is safe. Because if the only way Saleh and them would have gotten fired is if they would have kept going with Zach. If he would have kept doing what he did today and then they trot him out on Friday, it would have been done. You made the move. It is what it is. You don't have a good option at quarterback. What else is there to do? You hitch your wagon to Rodgers. Rodgers won't come back now if we lose. That's fine. If by some fucking thing, like miracle, he does decide to play just to be like, I could do it, which is the only thing that's like horrifying to me, is him just being like, hey, I'm playing at least one game to show that I came back. That's the worrisome part for me.
The Jets are 4-6.
Yeah.
Rodgers cannot play in a 4-7 Jets team.
If they win this game, if they somehow win this fucking game, it's gonna be so like I wouldn't even know what to say. I'd be more shocked that we won than happy. That would be the horror. It's horrifying. Anytime you get closer now to being in the hunt is horrifying, because this dude's gonna try to play.
Yeah, because if you're in the hunt, he's gonna play. But best case scenario, you guys just got to lose. No point.
The scary thing is if the Jets somehow make it to 9 games. If they somehow win 9 games, it's going to be horrifying.
If you get a first-round pick,
that thing's gone.
Yeah, in the top 10.
That pick's gone. They're trading that pick. I'm telling you. I made a wheel spin bet with Roz today in the chat. I was like, whatever. It doesn't even matter where we fit in the first round. That pick's getting traded. And he thought he was talking about, oh, it's mathematically impossible for Rodgers to play the snaps. I'm like, no, that's not what I'm talking about. If the Jets are going to engage with Davante Adams, the Raiders are going after that pick.
Yeah.
There's no way you could get Davante Adams without trading that pick. Especially if they're going into the rebuild.
What moves they make in the offseason.
Because if you could get away with getting
you still have
possibly 2 top 10 picks.
You still have your first round pick in the draft. Because you might not be able to get Harrison, but you can get Neighbors or the other wide receiver on Ohio State. Emeka.
I'm talking FSU's wide receiver.
Oh.
Because he's going to be one of those top 10 receivers. But I don't see the Jets doing that. If the Jets keep their pick, they're taking quarterback.
So you get Malik Neighbors and Emeka from Ohio State too.
If the Jets keep their pick and they don't trade it for Davante Adams, they're going to draft a quarterback. And it's going to be Bo Nix.
Oh my God. That would be terrible.
That would be what would happen. They would take Bo Nix, have him sit for 2 years, and see what you got, because Bo Nix, when he left Auburn, got better. And that's what they're banking on. Because Penix will be gone. Penix will be gone in the first 5. May is going to be gone.
Bo Nix does most of his passes behind the line of scrimmage.
That's what the NFL is. If Brock Purdy could do it, Bo Nix could do it.
Yeah, but Brock Purdy has the talent to get away with that. You see when you throw fucking... San Francisco has a lot of motherfuckers that are hard to tackle.
Yes.
Oh, yak and rack guys. Yards after catch, run after contact. The point is they get you the guys because they know they can make people miss or hard to bring.
The problem is
he's not going to get drafted. Nobody in San Francisco.
I don't have to worry about it because if Davante Adams is going to be a Jet, we're not going to have that pick, so it doesn't matter. Because that's what they're going to bend. They're again bending the knee for Rodgers. Instead of trying to go after Mike Evans in free agency, they're just going to throw the bag at Davante Adams.
Mark Davis might ask for the first round pick and their fucking corn and sauce.
Yeah, that's not happening.
It depends. If he keeps Antonio Pierce as the head coach.
Yeah, I don't think that's happening either.
No. Don't trade him.
Because Devontae could get mad because Devontae's not going to want to play with a rookie quarterback next year because they're going to bring in another quarterback.
Antonio Pierce is good. Is not. He knows where he knows who's good on his fucking team. He already knows. Oh, I got to get the ball to Devontae.
Devontae not going to want to catch passes from Spencer Rattler.
Rattler ain't gonna be no first round.
He shouldn't be, but somebody gonna fuck around and take him in the first round. It's probably gonna be Bill. Bill stays to do the draft. He trades out of his top 5 pick, trades back to pick 20, takes 4th round grade Spencer Rattler.
Fucking Drake May, Caleb Williams,
Michael Penix.
Oh yeah, Michael Penix,
Bo Nix. Those are your 4 first round quarterbacks.
Bo Nix.
I'm telling you, those are your 4 first round quarterbacks.
I'm not sold on Bo Nix.
I like Bo Nix. Because I got to see him like grow and play better. Obviously, it's because he left the SEC, but he got to mature as a quarterback. He also got to mature as a person because he's like 27. Because he's like a 6-year senior.
No,
He's like 25.
he's
Oh, Bo
first
Nix.
year 2019, 20, 21, 22.
He's 23.
Yeah, it's just
He'll be 20. He'll be 24 in February.
He's a 4-year starter.
He's a 7-year senior.
He's not that fucking up. People stay in college for 4 years. People, so like
Oh no, he's a 5-year starter, Steven.
fifth year senior. You never heard of that?
Yeah, no, he might as well have been there for 7
Well,
years.
never watched college football before.
No, I understand it, but that's why it's like
Explaining to the listeners, back in the day when you would get recruited and they thought you were good, they would redshirt you your freshman year. So you'd sit out your freshman year, and then the next year you'd be a freshman again. You'd be a redshirt freshman, and then you'd stay. And you'd be a 5th-year senior. He's a 5th-year senior. That's
well, the problem is he didn't redshirt. He had the COVID year, which didn't hit against his eligibility.
Yeah,
so he started for 5 years.
Yes,
That's what Shiloh's doing.
Remember, they changed the redshirt rules. You're allowed to play like a certain number of games. Back in the day, your redshirt you couldn't play at all. They changed the redshirt rules. You could play like I think 4 games or whatever. You can get redshirt any time now.
It's the same thing that Shiloh Sanders is doing. He's coming back to Colorado for 1 more year because why the fuck not?
They're going to the Big 12 next year. Shedeur will be the number 1 quarterback.
He's gonna be if Shedeur doesn't win the Heisman next year,
he could be the number 1 quarterback this year if he comes out. Just his offensive is terrible.
He's not going to. I had this argument with Roz because Roz is convinced Shedor's going to come out. He goes, "Why wouldn't he?" I'm like, "Why would he?"
He's not coming out. He already said he's not.
Why would he want to come out? There's no reason for him to want to come out. He could do something legendary and win and be on the pace to like win the Natty next year in the Big 12. And the conference is going to have nobody.
If they recruit some people and then the transfer portal, and
you
transfer to fucking Colorado, just go to the Big 12. So
that's all they really need. They just really need to get offensive line and defense.
The 2 best teams in the Big 12 are leaving.
Exactly.
Who's the top dog in the Big 12 right now? Oklahoma State?
No. Yeah.
Yeah, that's Colorado could easily. Shedeur could go when they go over there next year. The Colorado could easily be the best team in the Big 12 if they get aligned. If they get aligned, transfer portal and recruiting.
Like they're going to be such a favorite to do it. Shedeur's going to walk away with the Heisman because he's going to be picking on teams that don't have defenses. If they are just the best of the shit, they're just going to walk into a top 4 seeding.
You're going to play BYU, UCF, TCU, who already fucking beat Texas Tech, Baylor, Oklahoma State, Kansas State, Kansas. What other freaking team joined?
You got a bunch. UCLA?
Yeah. No,
UCLA went Big 10.
What Pac-12 going with? Arizona?
Yes.
Arizona State.
So they're going to run away with it. Why would he come out? He's going to be the number 1 pick next year.
This year, but
he's going to be the number 1 pick next year. There's no. He could be the number 1 pick taken in this draft, but the way he kind of fell off because of the offensive line and all that stuff, he would end up being the 3rd quarterback taken.
See, when you go through quarterbacks, you're like, well, how does he play? Like, he makes the throws, blah, blah, blah. How does he play against the better competition? He's playing. You can't be like Zach Wilson at BYU, and then when he played better competition, he always struggled.
All Zach did was throw the ball 40 yards down the field. He never played the short game. He could only uncork the ball.
When he played tougher competition at BYU, he always struggled. And you got to see how they play. The competition may not be better. Like you're not going to play SEC competition, but there's better competition in other schools you play. It's how do you play against them? If you play bad against better competition, that's not like SEC, Big 10 level, or even Pac-12 level. Of course, that shows signs, but he plays. He gets accurate. Especially when you're running for your life. Come on, man. Caleb Williams is running for his life too.
Caleb Williams is just unbelievable. he just
His just defense is giving up 50 points. They can't stop cold. Freaking Washington beat them. Washington ran for like 300 yards on freaking USC. Like, what the? Michael Penix didn't have to do anything. He just hand the ball off. The running back was averaging fucking
Caleb Williams, because USC hasn't had an offensive line since 2006. So like we haven't had USC has not had an offensive line since 2007 with Mark Sanchez. That was like the last time they had an offensive line. They haven't been able to protect a quarterback in over a decade. And you can see with Caleb Williams, where my question with Caleb Williams was, how is he under the structure of an offense? Who knows? He's always got to run for his life, right? But then it's like, oh, he rolls out and just slings the ball 90 yards with ease.
He had one bad game against Notre Dame. It happens.
Mm-hmm.
It's like it's not the standard. And all the other games, like literally against Washington, he was balling his ass off, but he doesn't play defense.
But he'll be fine. I hope he ends up in a good situation. I don't know how that's going to be because the USC quarterbacks tend to not be good.
The Bears are going to have the first pick regardless because the Panthers, they ain't winning the fucking game.
And that's what's scary. If the Bears take him, that's scary because USC quarterbacks usually don't do well, and then Chicago Bears quarterbacks also don't do well.
It's like Justin Fields is not playing bad. He's just been hurt.
It's just you kind of got to move on from him.
It's like what do they do? Now do they trade that pick again?
Do you take Marv and then you're like, okay, who wants this one? That's the what Chicago's really got to figure out because Fields is playing well. Do you trade that first round pick, move back, and either get a player that can help your team get better, or do you just keep getting draft capital and just build your depth?
Passer rating before he got hurt.
Like he was playing really well, but then again, this organization, this regime that he's got aren't linked to Fields. They didn't draft him.
Yeah, but right, he ain't doing any better himself. Pace might get hurt too.
So, yeah, so it's like I don't know what you do.
And their head coach might be gone too.
Yeah, but Pace also got them this extra draft capital, so Pace may get another shot. Eberflus might be the one that gets canned. So then it'll just be like, okay, how many GMs get more than one head coach? Not a lot. You got to prove something. But Pace proved that he's a competent GM and how he spends his money and him getting the draft capital is just what that stuff kind of turns into.
Made that one trade, you had to make that trade. I think that would have been right. I could be GM. I would have asked for GJMR too.
Yeah, but then you go get Montez Sweat and you lock him up so he doesn't hit free agency. You're using your money wisely to address the areas that you're supposed to. It's just I really think it's just the coaching, to be honest, and the offensive line.
They need offensive line. They spend money on O-line.
Because I was playing 2K with with 3/5 of their offensive line instead of while they should have been practicing.
The wide receiver, they need another wide receiver opposite DJ.
That's what I'm saying. If they could get not JMO, if they could get fucking Marv to add to that team with DJ Moore, then that's scary. That's fucking scary. And then you move that second pick to another team that's really trying to trade up and get a quarterback.
Or you just look. There's only one team that's drafted a wide receiver number 1 overall. So
listen, if the Bears don't take him, then the Cardinals sure as hell will.
Yeah, the Cardinals will. That's what the Cardinals should do.
But who knows? But we're the Barreto Boys. We're here with you at the beginning of your week every Sunday after Sunday Night Football, where we recap the slate of NFL games. I'm Dylan Barreto on Podcast Poppy. This is Stephen Barreto, the Sand Viper. We are out of here. We will see you next week. Actually, we'll see you Friday. Black Friday. Go get your shopping. Happy Thanksgiving. Enjoy your families. Enjoy football. Let's get the fuck out of here. I did it again. I did it again.